Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how we can use ontologies in our prompting with Claude 3 to help us get better output in our writing. So before jumping into the demo and explaining more about the process, I want to first explain what an ontology is so you know that going into the video. So an ontology is essentially just a structured way for an AI model to better understand a certain framework or perspective or worldview. And the reason I like these is because instead of going step by step and telling the model, like, don't do this, do that, don't do that, you are instead giving it this sort of abstract concept that encapsulates a lot of nuance that the model can then use as reference. And so in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I first used Claude to generate an ontology and then how I use it in my prompting. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so let's jump into the demo. So I'm going to show you how we can use ontologies to help us get better writing out of Claude, and we will be doing it in the context of repurposing one of my recent newsletters. So first things first, we need to create an ontology. And when I first did this, my mind immediately went to, oh, we can just have Claude do that. And that is exactly what I did. So I will talk about that briefly first because I think it is important to note. If we go back, you will see this notebook in a second. But this, so Anthropic, the company that is the creator of the Claude models like Opus and Sonnet and all of those good ones, they have something called a meta prompt. And a meta prompt is an experimental framework that is going to help us solve the blank page problem for prompt engineering. So if you feel like you are not confident in your prompts or you would like a more refined prompt for the model, this is what I would go to for Claude. So they have a notebook here that you can copy as well, and you will need an Anthropic API key for this, which you would put in this variable here. And then you would put your original prompt right here. And so what you don't see right now is this huge, huge prompt that is the meta prompt by Anthropic. I just wanted to show that to you as we go through this. But after you've loaded all of those cells, this is where you would put your original prompt. So if I was trying to make a prompt for Claude to help me generate ontologies, I might say, you are an expert in ontologies. I would like you to follow these steps for creating an ontology. I will give you a topic area, a domain, or something, and you will generate an ontology for that. And that is exactly what I did. And now I've already pre-saved that prompt because when I create prompts now, I think it is best practice to, create swipe files, create documents for specific workflows, and it's made my life a ton easier. And I would recommend it to anyone that is trying to be more efficient in their workflows that is already using prompting. So if I go over to my prompt, you can see it right here. And this variable domain is where we will replace that with our information. So if this is like my writing voice, a description of who I am, it could be something about like expert copywriter, it could be expert thread writer, expert Twitter extraordinaire, you name it, just put it in here between these two tags. And so what I like to do when I'm doing this is I will copy and paste this, and I've already done that, and I will paste it below as kind of like a scratch piece of paper. And the reason I do this is so I can replace the domain right now before I actually paste it into Claude. Because what I've found with Claude is if I paste a piece of text that is too long, it will turn it into a file automatically in the UI, which I find to be, a little annoying. And so I will just pre-make the entire prompt and then just paste it all in, and I don't care if it's a file at that point. So here, since we are repurposing my newsletter, I will say, expert copywriter and ghostwriter for Twitter knows everything about captivating hooks, adding value on the timeline, and speaks or specializes. Say that specializes in emulating an active, slightly humorous voice. And so once I've done that, with all the instructions we have with it, I will go back to Claude and I will paste it. Now I will paste this, and then once it is done, I will come back and we will move on to what we do after to repurpose the newsletter. Okay, so now we have the entire ontology, so let's take a quick look and just show you everything that it's doing. So it's defining the domain and scope. It's talking about the concept and entity identification, so key concepts, high-level categories, and it talks about different relationship types, taxonomies. And so this is also another good part about ontologies is it adds more specific semantic meaning to like terms and phrases within the context that you want, which helps the model better steer itself towards the output that you want. And now, once I have the ontology, I will then go back and I will find another prompt that I use for repurposing newsletters into Twitter threads. So let me do that right now, and then we will come back to this thread. All right, so now I have my prompt prepared for Claude for the next step in this repurposing process. So I'm saying, now I will give you a newsletter inside newsletter tags, and your task is to repurpose it into a Twitter thread. Use the ontology we have created as a framework for your writing. Here's the newsletter. Paste the newsletter, and then I also ask it to follow these format instructions. So hook, lead, points, summary, call to action, no emojis or hashtags. And now I'm going to paste all of this into Claude, and we should have some very good tweets repurposed for us. All right, paste it, and I will come back when we are done with this. Okay, so here's what we have. So we have the hook, 7 days of obsessing over Claude 3, prompting techniques yielded these game-changing insights for AI-powered writing. I dove deep into prompt engineering for writing this week, exploring how to maximize output quality using Claude 3. Here's what I discovered. Structured data, JSON, explicit denotations, and prompts help models to better understand. Length can also be strength when done well. Expertise is crucial for prompt engineering, etc., etc. And so the format maybe is not optimal. You know, like you have to copy and paste this and maybe get rid of the numbers and all that stuff, and you still have to separate out each specific post. But I mean, in a matter of like, 10, 20 minutes, like we generated an ontology, and then we also used the ontology to help us repurpose a newsletter for a Twitter thread. And I have to say that since using ontologies, I've found the outputs to be much more focused towards what I like, and I would really enjoy to see anybody watching use it as well and let me know how it works for them, because I would be very interested to see. And that is the video, guys. I wanted to kind of tell you guys what I've been experimenting with. I'm going to be going over more writing prompting techniques in the coming videos with Claude because I just did a bunch of experiments, and so I'm kind of making bite-sized videos for you to digest better. So if you like this video, please subscribe if you haven't already. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you have questions. You can join my free school community, Hackers and Painters. We talk about everything with AI, content creation, generation, repurposing, automation, all that good stuff. You can check out my newsletter. And yeah, till next time, much love and peace, y'all.